All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Cards and Coffee. With me today is Anthony, also known as Soul Collectibles. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm excited to
Well,
be here, man.
bro, thank you for joining me, man. Shout out to the boy Manu right off rip. I have conversations with him all the time, and he told me, "Hey, man, have you spoken to Soul in the past?" I was like, "No, man. I know him from IG, but I haven't really chopped it up with him." He goes, "Yeah, he's a good dude." So I have to give credit where credit's due. Manu told
Yeah.
me to link
Shout out
up with you,
Manu.
bro. Yeah. So what's going on with you, man? I know that you're just back from vacation and you're getting back into it, but what kind of collector are you, man? And how'd you get started with collecting in general?
um, yeah, no, got back to vacation. I was out of the country from like 9 days, man. Getting back into it, start buying stuff when I got back, and but I guess collector cards mostly. Um,
Cards.
Cards. I got a little bit of some original art. None that
Okay.
I've publicly shown. You know what I mean? I like to believe that to keep some stuff to yourself. you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I'll probably publicly show them. I actually did pick up something not too recently, a little bit further away. I could show that later. But yeah, mostly cards. Cards has been always a part of my life since I was a kid. Not Marvel cards, but came from shoot. I think about 5 or 6 years since I've been collecting. Like really took a deep dive into collecting. It was Pokemon first. I got started in collecting. I was just taking a stroll through Target, man. I saw some cards on the shelf. I'm like, oh man, I haven't opened cards like in a while. I feel like that's just the cliche. I hate to sound cliche, but did
Yeah.
that, and there's a set that had came out is Hidden Fates. You mentioned you were in Pokemon. Do you remember that set, Hidden Fates?
Yeah. Hidden Fates. Yeah.
Dude,
I
that
remember
that
that.
took me by storm, bro. Any Hidden Fates I seen, I ripped it with my lady. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got in cards, got introduced into Marvel, and then yet again got just addicted into a new thing. Kind of lost sight a little bit in Pokemon, but trying to get back a little bit because So I don't want to say one true love, but is I enjoy Pokemon. Marvel I'm starting to enjoy, not starting to enjoy, but be more appreciative of the art. Not being able to grow up with it. Much like
Mhm.
most of the community. So.
Yeah. For you, I would say just based on your age range, like you were introduced Marvel more so with like the MCU stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
movies.
yeah, well, I mean, Spider. All I knew was Spider Man. You know
Oh,
what I
okay.
mean? Spider Man with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
the original Spider Mans, all those three movies, and actually was about to watch one. I think I seen them on Netflix or something, so I wanted to watch them again. But as far as that, I never had action figures. I never had comics. Um,
Mm.
sure, I mean, there's some action figures I did have, but they're like Transformers. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff I never got too much into touch or got into touch with Marvel as
And And to that point, man, and that's awesome too, because you have a different perspective on that, like you said, because you're not nostalgic to some of these things, which
right,
makes you, I feel like, have more of like a rational mind when it comes to deciding what to do, because your
right.
emotions are not attached to it, right? When you look at comics, because you mentioned that you didn't grow up with comics either, well, how do you feel about them now? Now that you see like someone like Manu, like what he collects, what he sells, does that draw you in, or you have no interest in that medium?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You know, comics. I'm not. I didn't like, even reading comics. I just never took an interest in. I wanted to pick up a couple like key comics, key books to like take a look at. Really appreciate the art and see what I'm missing. I'm not saying that like
Mhm.
I'm gonna feel fulfilled. After oh I could have done without that, or I'm glad I did buy this. I'm gonna be glad regardless, right? And even to that point of me mentioning having everything resonate with me differently. Topic is Manu, I guess. He ain't even
Yeah.
on the show, but his thing with Wizard One. I was
Mm.
like, dude, that's dope as hell. Like, I wasn't familiar with McFarlane, wasn't
Yeah.
familiar with what Wizard was. What gravitated or not gravitated towards it, what I gravitated it towards, but I don't know if you're familiar with Disney, but the fireworks show Fantasia with Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
and he has on the Wizard
Yeah.
and all that shit. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, that's dope. But it's on Spider Man. That's even
Yeah.
cooler. You know what I mean? So I even bought a hologram. They have. Let me pick it up real quick. Hold on, I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. No worries.
Let me see. Right here. Oh, hold on. I like. Oh, here it goes. So this, there it goes,
Oh, that's dope.
bro. Sick as hell. It's a
I mean,
and it's all hot. Oh, there it goes. Yep. And then on the back, he's working his magic, sweeping up
oh,
and everything.
that's double sided. That's dope.
Double sided hologram, bro. I seen this. I picked it up for cheap. I picked it up for cheap, and I was like, "This is dope." Actually, I was on the phone with Manu at the time. This was like probably 2 years. Damn, has it been that long? Might have been like 2 years or something like that. 2 years ago. I saw that. So it Wizard One, it's resonated with me differently. I didn't grow up with that price guide. A lot of the times I grew up with Beckett price guides.
Mm,
My father, he was into, sports card. Everybody was into sports cards. He had a bunch of football, a bunch of baseball cards, like those blue tote bins. What do they call?
yeah,
I forget the brand name, but whatever. So we used to go walk around sports shows, and I used to want to get the Beckett, if they had a Pokemon on it as a kid, or something like that, right? But yeah, no, everything resonated with me differently, So about that rational thoughts, I'm not really. I think that plays in the part about how I collect, especially. I don't consider myself a character collector either. There are characters that I do gravitate towards, but I'm not going out and buying every card of that character. You know what I mean? There's some arts that I don't like. Even books, like first appearances, I'm like, "Ooh, that'd be cool to like get a first appearance of that character." Look
yeah.
at the cover and I'm like, I don't
That
like
ain't
this.
it.
And especially if I'm spending a couple grand on that thing, I'm like,
Yeah.
definitely not. Yeah, I'm cool. But yeah,
It's hard, yeah. That's a good point, man. That's the same way I feel about comics when it comes to first appearances. Is like I can't just buy stuff because it's the first appearance
right.
when the art is dog shit. At least to me, you know what I mean?
Lightly.
Yeah, like yeah. To put it lightly, exactly. Like if it's what's dope, it's dope. Even if it's not its first appearance. Like I was talking to even RMS. I'm sure you're familiar with Ryan as well,
Yeah,
right?
I never spoke to him personally. I mean, limited, interactions through Instagram and the community. But yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, and he was. We were talking about his ASM 50 cover, right? Like that cover is dope to me, where you have like the Spider-Man giving you his back, and then Peter Parker walking towards you on the
Oh
cover.
yeah, oh yeah. I know.
Yeah,
The only
all
reason I
red
think,
from the '60s Silver Age
yeah,
cover.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know that cover because it was a lenticular card. I think I got it around here somewhere. I'm not gonna try to bust it out. If you guys are interested that much, you guys can look into it. But there's a 4-piece lenticular card from Marvel Ages. It's
hmm
that cover. That's a Ditko. Is it? I'm gonna sound stupid. Isn't that Ditko or no?
I'm not sure to be honest with you. So wait, we both could be
Maybe.
wrong, but
Okay.
but it's a dope cover for
It's
sure.
a dope cover. There's that one. There was a shoot. There's a Thor. There's a Thor. There was a Daredevil in the yellow suit. There was a Magneto in the red and blue suit, and there's a couple other ones. But that's the only reason why I know of that cover. And that cover's sick of. Is that? Oh, is that the same one where the spider head, the mask is in the trash can, or am I mistaken it?
Yeah, I believe
Okay, yeah,
so.
yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, man, and that's what I'm saying. Like covers like that is that's what I'm drawn to more so because again, I'm similar to you with comics that I didn't grow up with comics.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, I never owned any comics. So like when I started seeing people like Manu and people like Free, shout out to Free,
Oh
he collects only Doom, right? And I started seeing some of these covers. I'm like, and Free knows this. I give him shit all the time, but I'll see all his covers. I'm like, those ones ain't it, but that one's hard. You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I mean? And I only gravitate towards like ones that catch my eye. And that's what my next question was for you. So with that in mind, when you're going after these Pokemon, since you're not a set collector and you're not a character collector per se, what is your thought process that goes into what you decide to pick up? Like why like you were showing me earlier a couple like a Raichu and another character. Like
yeah.
what makes you go after those ones specifically?
Like for Pokemon, those ones I guess it's popularity. Um, Popularity for the Pokemon. The art itself, is fantastic. Why not? I'll grab them out right here. I know where they're at. Um, but more or less the popularity and cool art that I thoroughly enjoy as well too. Because I mean, that's something I find you know navigating the hobby kind of find it hard. I'm sorry, I have them in my
No, you're
hand.
good. No, you're good.
I kind of find it not hard, but you're buying things. Why are you buying things, right?
Hmm.
Are you buying it, to make a quick flip, to hold on for long term? Do you really like that? And I find it hard for me to buy something that I don't truly like. Like even though
Mhm.
it could be a high price item or something like, there's a good deal out there. I'm like, but I don't really like the card, like the art on the card, or I don't really like the sketch, but I know that sketch artist goes for a premium. I know I could turn around and flip that, or just just things like that, right? Um, and I think that kind of nips me in the butt sometimes, in terms of trying to make money on, in the hobby.
Mm.
But what drive, but for these cards, let me go ahead and make so these cards,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
Raichu, the art rares, almost like just a full, just short name full art, but they're art rares. That one's just dope,
nice.
A
Yeah,
couple of these cards,
that one looks like some Godzilla kind of
yeah,
piece. You know what I
that
mean?
was
Yeah,
sick. And there's like and I like it when some of these cards they'll have cameos of other Pokemon in the cards as well. Like there'll be multiple different kinds of Pokemon, and the Pokemon Company has been doing a fantastic job with that aspect of it. Especially on these art rares and these full arts. These I guess for Marvel people it's just inserts
yeah,
within the set, and just having cameos of other characters, other Pokemon, other monsters. But for Marvel, I've kind of geared my collecting a little bit differently. I started to go for some. We mentioned this, just prior, but rarity. I wanted to
yeah,
start focusing on short prints or super short prints or cards that are limited. Like my threshold, if I'm a buyer card, is under 99, is
yeah,
99 or lower. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but
That's a
even
good threshold.
then, what's that?
That's a good threshold to
You're
have.
right. I think it's a solid round number. Um,
Hmm.
some of the cards that I have my eye on, they're beautiful cards. But it makes it hard then too because then, you know, and you mentioned this too, and I really like that you had said this. You buy a whole set, like an insert set, let's say 20, 30 cards. I recently completed a set out of Marvel Ages. It's over 40, I think it's like 50 cards or something like that. And 20 of like, oh no, I'm sorry, probably 35. I'm gonna get the numbers mixed up, but they're flavorfuls is the insert. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
familiar. But yeah.
yeah. I'm familiar.
So
That's a nice insert.
oh my god, beautiful. And so I have a lot of them on my e-pack, that I'm waiting to send home. But it's like, okay, you buy these, let's say 50 cards. Only 10 of the characters are really popular. You got a couple other, niche character collectors that don't have that card or don't know of the card that could probably maybe, move on. And then you have, let's say 20 D, D tier characters. I'm
Yeah,
not saying Ebony Ma is everybody's first pick, but
yeah.
no, I have
Bench
yet to
warmers.
no bet. Yeah, yeah, right. The
Mhm.
six man, but you can't sleep on the six man. Um, but yeah, so I've been gearing up towards that. Sketches, I'm still kind of teetering on. I love sketches. I have a few lovely sketches. I actually pulled that one from Platinum on stream with Lewis, um, Matt Fuller, and Fausto, sketch card.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
that was sick. It was a Scarlet Witch.
that
Um,
was dope.
yeah, no, it was cool. It was a great moment. It was. I was in my head, man. I was thinking, I'm like, man, come on, let's get a sketch, man.
Mhm.
Let's do the impossible, bro. And I didn't want to, speak it and fizzle out into the universe, So I was like, I'm gonna just keep it to myself and just wish in one hand and just kind of just hope in the other.
And that's one of the coolest things about breaking, bro. That I would say I'm not a breaker myself, or even just personally, I don't open a lot of boxes at all. But
Yeah,
it is dope when you do pull some out of there. It's like a feeling that's like, I've seen it with my son. Like he's into Pokemon heavy as well. He's like his biggest things are Pokemon, DBZ, and then Marvel third probably for him.
yeah,
And I recently bought him like a Pokemon box, and he pulled a nice Charizard full art out of there. And just to see his face on how stoked he was
yeah,
that that's the card he was going after, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's a dope feeling. So I
Well,
totally understand why people chase that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Especially, just like just natural raw excitement, you know what I mean? And it's just old, especially when you don't expect it. It always happens to you when you don't expect, the big hit.
Mhm.
It's happened to me so many times. I've ripped plenty of Pokemon packs with my lady, and all of a sudden we had a contest for Charizards where we had a tally going on for how many Charizards we would pull or that's the chase card or whatever. And she's got hot hands, she's steady pulling it.
Mhm.
And we're just kind of silent, like, okay, what'd you get? What'd you get? And then when we stop, we're like, oh my god, this is cool. Or like, oh, this looks cool. And she'll show it to me. It'll be the chase card. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and she's not a huge fan. she likes Marvel, but she likes the Pokemon. She likes Pokemon a little bit more. But to your point though, just the chase is
Yeah.
what we're all here for, especially when you break rip packs. That's you're going for the chase.
So since you've been collecting Marvel Man and getting to the Marvel cards, is there like cards that you hold that you know for sure that's something that you like to keep as long as you can? Like, what are some of your favorite cards that you were able to pick up that you're like, man, I can't see myself letting this go, especially in this market that's a little bit of a down market, right? Like, you're not gonna get what you even maybe whether it's what you paid for it or at least you're not gonna make much profit on it, so you rather hold it. Uh,
Hmm.
can you share some of those cards with us? Like, what are cards that you're like, man, this is too dope to sell right now?
Um, shoot, I know off tops. Like, are there any cards in here? No, those are you know like some of the cards, like everything's for can everything has a price,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Everything has a price. I do know those exquisites from Marvel Gems. Those grew on me so much. It was a move at the time, but I didn't capitalize on it. I don't have freedom, to like throughout the day. So by the time something happens or I go out of town for work a lot, I'm like, man, okay, there goes that whatever. But those exquisites from Marvel Gems definitely grew on me. I would sell them, but I mean the closest thing, dude. I can't tell you, bro. Bro,
No, no worries.
I'm like, okay, I probably would sell that. I probably would sell that, and I'm like, it's all for the it's gonna sound just cliche and kind of not unintelligent, but everything has a price,
Yeah.
some definitely have more of a don't want to sell price,
Mhm. Yeah.
especially cars that I bought high and then the market kind of fills it out. And it's just not specifically talking about right now. But yeah, I can't say any cards that I have that I wouldn't sell. Especially I know that on your episode with Manu, keep bringing that guy's name up. I don't know why, but it's in terms of okay, can I get this again? How rare is this, right?
Mm.
You got to be honest with yourself. Like, okay, I could probably sell this, make a little bit of money, but am I gonna, buy it again at that premium price?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a private sale, a public sale? Is that gonna be considered a comp, like not reflect on it, but use it as reference. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
reference to as a comp, and you'd be like, okay, well, the last sold, let's say you bought a card for $1,000, you sold it for 1,200. Now you're like, okay, there's a $1,200 comp. Oh shoot, now okay, now this buyer's gonna probably be asking like 15 for it. You know what I mean? And now you just lost out $500 and that card.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, everything's for sale. I mean, I do have my PC characters. Some of the cards aren't crazy. Some of the cards I have been hunting for since I got into the hobby and really dove deep into the Marvel cards. But
What are some of those, man? If you don't mind my asking, what are some cards that you'd still would like to have in your PC or at least
oh
hold for a while?
yeah, one of them, I'll grab a couple of them. I do. I Some of them I got actually. Shoot, honestly, all these, a couple of them, Deadpool Royal Foil,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
limited
that's out of
25.
25.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Crack
it's just
tax.
definitely a different art of Deadpool. And for the longest time, I was so turned off about from it. I was just like, especially with the premium that was on this card. But then, 2017 Flare Ultra, it's a beautiful set. And then it just kind of
Yeah.
not fell into my lap, but it was up for sale, and I had reached out to the seller, and we eventually just worked something out. And I was just like, I can't believe. And everybody previously, there was just a lot of people asking. I'm not, and this isn't gonna be me bashing their price or bashing them, but just asking for too much that I'd like to spend on the card, right?
Yeah.
So
But don't think about those if you notice, like in the front, I think the only knock on those cards is that in the back, you see like a zoomed out version of that Deadpool, which I think would have been doper if they put the zoomed out version in the front. And in
See.
the because in the front is more
Oh,
zoomed in. You see what
oh,
I'm
that
saying?
one? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same
That was
one, but it's zoomed out.
right. Exactly. No, that definitely would have been cool. I definitely like the full body rather than just like the portraits. It kind of doesn't feel lazy, but it's kind of late. Not lazy, but I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I
those are nice
definitely
though, man.
no, it is. No, I'm happy to have it in my collection. I was going for a 9 at the time. It's just too much that what I wanted to pay for a 9.
Mhm.
It wasn't on the top priority for me, and that's the biggest thing too. Going to try to you have your list of cards that you'd like to purchase. Once some takes priority or some else comes up, a sale that you want to jump on, and then you're like, okay, well, I can't buy. I'm gonna miss out on that sale. Facebook group, someone buys it, before like within the day, and you say, okay, if it's there tomorrow, I'll buy it, and it's
Yeah,
never there. It's never
it's
there.
never yeah.
But
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go
I'm
ahead.
still here, brother. I'm still here.
I was gonna ask you, not only like the ones you have, but like you mentioned earlier that there's still cards that you've been looking for since you got into the hobby. What are some of those cards that you still haven't been able to get a hold of?
Um. So actually, I haven't. Actually, I know one of them, and it's the Flareum, the Psylocke Flareum from 2019 auto.
Nice, the one out of 30.
Yeah, and so
Hmm.
I keep my eye open for that, often.
That's a
Um,
dope card. So,
I
and that's the second time you bring. Sorry to cut you off, but that's the second time you bring up Psylocke. So I'm gonna assume
that was the
Psylocke is
second
one of.
time.
Yeah,
Damn, I'm a catch
you
up
brought up.
Friday, huh?
Yeah, you brought up the card fam guy that reaches out anytime he gets tens
Oh
in
yeah, yeah,
Psylocke.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Psylocke is I actually have a commission from Peach, that was done in Lake Como convention last year of Psylocke, and it's watercolor, it's beautiful. Um
That's
so
dope.
yeah, the Flareum and the
Yeah,
CPC-10.
that's a nice card, man.
I'm a PSA guy, but I can't discriminate.
Yeah, you
Um,
got to take what you can at the time, you know.
exactly, exactly. Um and then this card I was actually hunting for a while.
That's a dope card. And a 9. That's a good grade
And
for
the
that, bro.
9. And my last name is Polo. The element
Okay.
is polonium.
Oh, nice.
Just
That's dope, dude.
just so little. I was like,
Yeah. So,
in a seventh grade science project, I picked that element because I thought it was cool. But yeah, so that I picked that card up. Actually, who did I pick this? I forget. Oh, I remember. I remember who I picked that up from. I thought it was from the other same person as that Deadpool. This card actually, actually, oh, hold on.
those Battle Spectre gems.
One of them in the
Oh,
9.5.
okay.
Hold on, let me show him single.
Yeah, that one's the base.
This
10.
one's a base in a 10. Oh, there it goes. Now I can see better. Rotate this properly. Gem Mint
That's nice.
10. I love 2018. And then here goes the 9.5 Mint Plus. Oh, shoot. What am I going for?
That's dope, bro. Those are
Yeah,
hard to get a 9.5s or better on. Even a
dude.
9 is solid.
Yeah, and I had graded the base by myself, and I picked up the Battle Spectre gem from another member within the community. Uh, but that one was definitely one. I saw the base and I saw Doc Ock. Coming from what was nostalgic to me was Spider-Man 2 and him fighting Doc Ock. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah.
this is cooler than being introduced to Bianchi. Or just being told about masterpieces. I'm like, okay, is there a set like this modern? Oh, there are. There's a couple of them that just released 16, 18, and 20. I'm like, okay, what do these artists look like? Because I was familiar with at least 92 and 94. And was 95, 96 was both Boris and
Julie Bell.
Julie Bell, right? There's both of
Yeah,
them. Just them two, though, right?
correct.
Yeah, and then 95. What was 95? I wasn't too familiar with 95.
There was a total, I think, three main artists, but there was a fourth, I believe. There was Patelis. There was
Oh, yeah. Is that Dimitri, right?
yeah, Dimitri
Yeah.
Patelis. He's my favorite, personally, from that
Oh,
set.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no. So and then I was not introduced, but I found Bianchi's work, and I was like, yo, this stands out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Actually, I don't want to be show and tell, but I picked up a piece that had to do with 2018.
Oh,
That I haven't posted.
preliminary art.
No,
Your
not
little-
preliminary art. Um, it's an uncut sheet.
Oh, nice. That's
Uncut
dope,
sheet
bro.
of the gold sig. It's still rolled up. I need to get it framed. I have to get a couple other things framed, and it's just not high on the priority list, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Speaking of Psylocke, man, you still have the exquisite Psylocke? Did you ever get that?
yeah, um I got that one. Yes, that was the first card that I purchased. Actually, I was like, dude, this art is dope.
Mhm.
And then I actually ended up pulling a Psylocke out of one of the boxes I ripped, and I actually just wanted to, sell it raw. So I sold that and just kept a single one. I was happy with just the one. I kind of regret it. Maybe should have got a grade and see what it came out to be, but I just sold it raw. Psylocke, what other? I mean, other than that purely periodic and
That's a
that
nice one, dude.
yeah, no, that periodic, I love those cards.
Do
And
you
you
like the one from '96, the double impact, when you have the Psylocke in the front and then in the back you have Punisher?
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not a huge fan of that. Is that where she's
No,
kind of like a side profile, kind of like
yeah,
leaning up
she's like
against the sword?
she's
Like,
like she's sitting on her ankles, I think, in the photo.
oh, maybe I'm getting that mixed up with a different one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
have
There's
to
a couple. The other one is the Bianchi Psylocke.
Bianchi
That
side,
one's
dude. Yeah, I love the Bianchi, but that, you know, one, I have all the cards, obviously, except the red spectrum. I
you have
have
the auto. You got the auto
Actually, I
SP.
don't. Okay, thank you. I don't have the auto. I don't have the auto. I don't have the red spectrum, but I have all the other colors, and I got them for relatively cheap off a guy he has a huge e pack for Marvel, but he's a sports guy.
Got
And so I hit him up one time, and I just must have caught him on a good mood because I've tried to hit him up
it.
after, and he either leaves me on
He
red or
wasn't
just
budging.
says, "Huh?"
He wasn't budging.
And I wasn't budging, man. He wasn't wanting to get rid of nothing. I'm sorry. Let me look up 1996 Psylocke. Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, no. For some reason I thought she was like kind of like posted up on a rock. Um,
Got
but
you.
yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of that one to be honest. I'm not
Yeah,
a huge fan, just not the Psylocke that I'm a huge fan of.
yeah.
That's another that plays into what I had said earlier too. Looking at some Psylocks that I have, I'm like I like the art how she's depicted. Some of the time, like I love Jim Lee's Psylocke. From
Yeah, that's a hard
his
one.
91 X-Men, the Jim Lee set, beautiful set. It's just I just love all that stuff. But yeah.
That's dope, bro. And now moving forward, like I know you mentioned that like you primarily stick to Pokemon because it's a bigger market. There's probably more liquidity in that market. So moving forward, do you still plan on picking up Marvel here and there, or are you primarily going to be focused on Pokemon
Oh
moving
no,
forward?
I don't plan on stopping Marvel at all. I don't. I wouldn't say necessarily, go back to Pokemon fully. I feel like there's some cards that I do like, or that not that I missed out on. I do miss and ripping open Pokemon packs. I'm not gonna steer away from Marvel. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've met, made some real good friendships, relationships with people, good people. Um, and it's just especially getting into, and that was another thing that is interesting in Marvel is the original art. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So that's pretty cool. I wouldn't ever consider myself an art collector, but I mean in hindsight we all are. You know what I mean?
mhm.
You're collecting the art on the cards, right? But yeah, I wouldn't stay away from Marvel. I won't.
Now knowing that you've kind of been in a little bit of both of the hobbies, what do you think are the main differences? Just speaking of the hobby and like the people, not the cards, but what's the difference between like the Pokemon community and the Marvel community that you've noticed?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sip the coffee, man. Um, it's different. It's a lot different.
Mm,
Um, the Marvel community, I think what's the word I'm looking for? We're not we're privileged to have such a small community.
mm,
Small community, tight knit, being able to talk with artists, being able to be in good standards with a lot of good people, higher ups within Upper Deck. You have Fausto, who is this part of CGC within the community. Um, you know, there's, I think, correct me if I'm, are you in MCCW? I don't even know if you, I feel like
I, I, I don't. I'm not active, but I'm a member of the group.
okay. I was gonna say I feel like I've never seen you, although I only know you from
No.
Elusive.
Yeah.
But I think it's like what 7,000 members, or am I wrong?
Yeah. Somewhere around that range.
You know, you know, compared to Pokemon, you know, the biggest, I would say that's the biggest Marvel group. Compared to Pokemon, the biggest Marvel group I think is above 60, 70,000. Um,
Yeah. Like a little 10x.
I'm sorry.
Like a 10x.
Oh, literally, yeah, yeah. It's Verbank. I don't know if you're familiar with that Facebook group.
No. No.
No, okay.
Burbank.
Yeah, Verbank,
I'm
Verbank.
familiar. I'm familiar with Burbank sports cards,
Oh,
but I'm not. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a
Verbank
huge.
with a V.
That's a huge store here in California for sports cards.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah, Burbank down south, right? But yeah, I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of differences. There's a lot of differences that, um, I think.
Go ahead, man. I feel like someone's holding you at gunpoint over there. What's going on?
You know, because I mean, like, it's just it's a mixture of, with the community being so small, um, people can self-proclaim a I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's funny that
That's crazy.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy out here, bro. No, it's just different. It's just different. I thought you were gonna talk about cars. I was like, okay, I got some stuff to say. You said people. I said I ain't got shit to say.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
know,
There's definitely. I'll say. I think here's what I've noticed the most, man. And even like the way you're taking that question, I feel like there's a lot of politicking in the
100%,
hobby.
bro. 100%. There's huge
Everybody's
problems.
worried about hurting whose feelings. You
Yeah,
know what I mean, or what someone's gonna think.
for sure.
You
You
know.
know, and it's out of I'm big on respect, right? If no one's done me wrong, there's no reason for me to come over here, talk somebody and do them wrong when they've, you know, say they've had nothing but good things to say about me. There's no reason why, even if I do have some to say about an individual, they treat me good, I'm gonna treat them good too. I don't care you know, who you're friends with, and you know, I won't I don't think I don't got funk with nobody in the hobby, but like,
Yeah.
I don't care if I got funk with your best friend. If you treat me with respect, I'm gonna do nothing but the same in return. You know, I'm big on
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
think, you know, growing up, um, is a different mentality. You know, but now I'm still young, but now that I'm older, fucking over somebody else's beef is just weird. You know what I mean?
It is.
That's weird, and you're just weird for that. You know, but I think it's it's a small community. There's a lot of growing. There's a lot of growth. I hope that it does get bigger. Markets are small. I think that has a lot to do with it too, with how small the community is. It affects the market and everything, and people can, you know, talk about manipulation and all this stuff. But realistically, there's not one person. I think there's one person actually, and it's that Mr. Fleur Ultra X-Men I always hear about. But there's no one
Oh,
person that has enough of a
to
product
make a difference.
to make a difference, to have a
Yeah.
big enough position to really make a difference in this manipulation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think, you know, so it's great to hear about what other collectors or people that with bigger platforms than myself to talk about what cards that, you know, they've been picking up. Is it wrong, or is it their fault that other people go and follow suit? No, they should make their own intelligent decision and say,
Mhm.
okay, why am I buying this? Do I really enjoy this? Am I going to regret this in a month? How much am I going to go into this with? What am I looking to do with
Mhm.
this? You know what I mean? Sure, could it be more insight being, you know, shed upon an insert, a character, a new set, an older set? You know, 2016 Marvel Gems, a huge influx. A couple, like a year or two ago, and as of recent, Rittenhouse products, '08 masterpieces, X Marvel Beginnings, the Volume One, those three subset or mini sets. I don't know
Mhm.
what you call them.
Yeah. Sets. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, you know, you common sense ain't so common. I don't want, you know, I don't want, that's
It's
not
true.
towards anybody, but you know, everybody should make their own logical decision, you know, intelligent decision on why they're buying something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Don't I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
No, I get you, man. I agree with you. I think that's what it is. Exactly what you just said. I think the community is so small that To be honest with you, a lot of times I see it just offhand. Sometimes people will buy something maybe just to impress someone else,
Well, yeah,
you know, and
and
that's
that person don't care about you. You know what I mean?
they
Don't care
don't.
about
Yeah.
what's on your plate. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
too busy, and that's another thing too. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I wanted to, I speak about this. Manu's the man of the hour, okay, but him and we talk quite frequently. And it's people. I'm sorry, just spit.
No, you're good, bro.
People that are in their own little world, right?
Mm.
They may not do something intentionally, or that might be their intention, both genuine and of malicious intent, right? You can't fault somebody or get on somebody or feel some type of way towards somebody because they acted their you think they disrespected you. They might have, or just you don't know unless you communicate with something, right? So
Yeah.
you can't get upset at somebody just because of the way they said something, and then that might not be the intention at all about what they're trying to say, or I don't know. I don't know, man. Everybody's in their own little world. I can't.
And I think what you're trying to say is don't take everything personal because sometimes they might not have to do with you, even
Yeah,
though.
100. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And those people that do things, or I'm sorry, that do act in a certain way, maliciously,
Hmm.
intentionally. That's on them.
Yeah.
I believe in karma. You know what I mean? That
100%. It'll catch up to them eventually.
one, yeah, exactly. And they could keep evading, the Lord's spite, or just keep dodging
Yeah.
bullets, but eventually one's gonna hit you. Like it
Yeah.
depending
You
on
ain't
what it
Neo.
is.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
wish that upon anybody, but just know you're gonna get
Yeah.
yours type of thing if those type of people. But
Yeah, yeah, man. The biggest thing for me that I was surprised in getting into this hobby is, especially like we've been talking about this recently. Shout out to Doom and Sergio from the NSTC pod. We always talk about like the age bracket that people are that are collectors, and it's like, to be honest with you, it's like 35 to 45 year olds is the biggest demographic, and then
yeah,
the second biggest is 25 to 35. Right.
yeah, I don't.
My point. My
I'm
point
sorry,
being
go
is
on.
that both those brackets are grown as men,
Right.
right? Like, and yet, there's a lot of issues between these grown men. That's what surprises me. And then what surprises me even more is if you're upfront with some of these people and you hit them up and they still try to pretend like, oh, there's no issues in your face. It's all, all friendly. But then behind the scenes, they might be saying things that's I don't know, man. Like, well, most of us got kids out here. What are you guys doing? I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, I expect that from my 11-year-old, but like if you're a grown man and another grown man is approaching you to either try to squash the beef if there's any, or just to, like you said, to clear up a misunderstanding that maybe had nothing to do with you and you
Right.
took it personal.
Right.
Hey, clear that up. Don't do something in their face
Yeah.
and then switch up behind the scenes.
Right.
That's the only thing with me, bro.
Yeah.
Other
No.
than that, yeah, it's all fun.
No. Yeah. And and with that, it's the community is small, man. The community is small. I really enjoy Marvel cards, and seeing where it goes in the future. It's I think a slow process.
Mhm.
And that even it being a small community and some things aren't, we don't have a large enough market for, like even vintage PSA 10s,
Mhm.
like we'll come back to, not trying to deviate from, the question that you
No,
asked,
no, you're good.
but like it's, I'm like, dude, why are people, not buying this card in a 10? There's only like 10.
Yeah.
Why are people not buying this card? There's only three. You know what I
I
mean?
think I think to answer that question from you, because I've been a guy that's always been heavy into buying 10 the base cards, right? I think now is a good time to do it, because the market is on a lower end. So here's a good example of what I mean by that. Like a while back, I'll show you a quick card just to like give you an example of something here. Okay, here's a good example. So this is a PSA 10 94 Flair Ultra X-Men Gambit.
Oh yeah,
At
yeah.
at the time, these tens were probably doing anywhere from $200 to $300, right?
Oh damn.
Now you probably could pick them up for like 100 $150, probably in that range. So
Oh,
now it makes sense to buy these tens,
right.
right? Where before when they were going for 300, you might want to go get a card out of 25 instead.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
I think to your question, I think that's what was happening prior. The reason that people weren't picking up a lot of tens was because there was other things that were more rare
Right.
that you should lock down first, depending on what your priorities were.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, right now, 100%. I think a lot of people should focus on a lot of the dope artwork from the 90s, and and pick, like you said, pick them up in tens. I think the pop on these is, like you said, some are like less than 10, some are 20. But again, going back to your the way you collect, which is anything under 100, right? Like even some of the most popular cards only have like 60, 70 in the pop, like the 91 X-Men Jim Lee Wolverine, where the landscape one where he's coming at you with the
Oh
claws.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's maybe a pop 68, pop 70 in a PSA
Right.
10. That's still under 100 copies, to your
Yeah.
point.
No. Yeah.
You know?
And to that, like, even just trying to focus on like artists that I like, characters especially. And I want to be able to enjoy the character and the art. I want something good. I want something that I like to look at. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Not something like, oh, okay, this art is really cool, but this character kind of is eh. And I actually
Yeah.
kind of floated that line a little bit. Um, I have a hold on. There's a couple sketches we can talk about. Maybe I don't have it right now. I thought I did. Well, that's not cool. Oh, okay. Whatever. I guess I don't have it. Or it's probably over here. It was a card from 2018. Is an auto silver spectrum of the base. It's got to be in here. Oh, yep. Here it goes. All right. Falcon.
Oh, nice.
Dope looking card. Dope
Yeah.
looking card. When that foil, the light hits the foil, it just looks great. Clean
Yeah.
signature. Bianchi's signature just looks amazing. And then
Top notch.
here goes. Oh, golly.
Oh, that's the Psylocke we're talking about, bro.
Yeah, beautiful
Yeah.
Psylocke.
The gold
Beautiful
auto.
with the gold.
Nice.
Yeah, the gold sig. Um, and then I mean this. Shoot, I guess this is show and tell. I guess I don't know.
Hey,
This
bro, that's
card,
anything you want to do. Yeah, that Deadpool kaleidoscope out of 25.
Kaleidoscope out of 25, man. That was this card actually. I knew there was a card that I was missing that I was looking for the longest time, and actually, fellow collector had that one. It's the Alpha.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, shout out to that was Jacob.
Yep, yep. So him and I got to talking, and he probably thinks I'm an asshole. He probably got funk with me because we wanted to we're gonna hop on the phone just just chop it up or whatever, get to know each other, and just there's another relationship that I had just met or just through Instagram, and we have yet to get on the phone call.
Yeah, Jacob's a funny guy, bro.
You get on a
Yeah,
video with this cat, you ain't even gonna call me. But no, he seems like good people though for the times that I spoke to him.
yeah, he's cool. He's cool. I like to give him shit all the time, but he's cool.
That's funny.
Shout out to Jacob, man. I always call him, whenever we mention him, we just call him Jacob the Jeweler. You know what
Jacob the Jeweler.
I mean? Yeah. But yeah, man, well, so I appreciate you, man, joining me. I know this is the first time we talk. Hopefully, we could do this again. Maybe on another time we could chop it up with Manu and some other people
dude.
to just to have like a bigger group.
Maybe
But I just wanted to do a one-on-one and again just to get to know you a little bit and what you're all about. I appreciate your time, bro.
No, I appreciate you having me. I'm grateful that when you hit me up, I was like, hey, okay, let's go. I one of these one-on-ones. It's the first. It's the first.
Yeah,
first
100%.
one-on-ones. Just chopping it up, not ripping product. But yeah, maybe I'll get some. This next video we'll talk about some more stuff that's a little like edgy.
Yeah, for sure, man. We just got you to maybe take a couple shots before we record. Don't even worry about
and Manu,
it.
yeah, exactly. Get Manu here, just so I'm not over here, with my back against the wall fighting off zombies and shit.
Manu's your lawyer, dog. He'll answer for you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right.
I need to talk to him, my attorney.
I always say that, dude. Manu's a wordsmith. He'll say shit you want to say, and he'll make it sound nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, it's like a sneaky, like a little backhand. You know, you don't realize it, but you will after you sit on it for like half an hour.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he does it with a smile on his face,
yeah,
so you
and
don't, you
that's the
can't
worst
tell.
part. God damn
Yeah,
it, Manu. But
yeah.
yeah, man, thanks again, bro. It's been fun, and yeah, I hope we get to do this again.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a good one, bro.
Appreciate you too, brother.